There is a place in Italy where the special relationship between people and the environment has created a surprising gem of biodiversity. Maremma, Tuscany. In the Middle Ages, its coasts were constantly raided by Ottoman pirates. Watchtowers controlled these coasts for centuries. Witnesses of great changes. Today, the 11 kilometers of beaches of the Maremma Natural Park are peacefully raided by thousands of tourists each year. Beyond the beaches lies the natural heritage of those who shaped this land. Pinewood was first planted here in the 18th century, while inland, the native Mediterranean woodland has been preserved throughout history. These woods are teeming with wildlife, although not easy to spot. Fields set aside from agriculture have become wild, colourful grassland where vegetation is mature and diverse. Fallow deer thrive here. Tall grass making the perfect hide for fawns. Introduced to Italy during the Middle Ages, this prolific and voracious herbivore adapts to a wide variety of food. It's the fallow deer who now do the farming here. At ground level, another inhabitant of the park is working unnoticed on its duty for the well-being of the fields. The dung beetle is dealing with the manure. It feeds on what other animals have left behind. It is now a race with time. The ball must be quickly carried away from the source and buried before other competitors join the feast. It might seem like a casual path, but many species of dung beetles are able to track the sun, the moon, and even the Milky Way in order to move in a straight line. This beneficial process brings nutrients to the soil and removes dung from the surface where it could spread disease to others. And not only the wildlife. Traditional farming methods that are hundreds of years old still exist here. Bred even prior to the Roman era, the Maremmana cattle are an ancient breed, crossed with large horned cows that came from the steppe and arrived in Italy with barbarian invasions. Groups of cattle egrets feed on insects and parasites. Local farmers call them cattle watchers, as they are always nearby. In archaic Italian, the word Maremma meant an unhospitable low-level marshland next to the sea. Like the pinewoods, this canal is evidence of local efforts in turning marshes into productive fields and vanquishing malaria, an effort that dates back to the Roman era. Despite this, they didn't completely eradicate the presence of marshes, understanding their value. Orbetello Lagoon is a fishery paradise and a natural wonder. Protected by the World Wildlife Fund, this area resembles how Maremma might have looked before human intervention. It's a haven for swamp dweller birds of all kinds. This young night heron is on the hunt. It scans the shallow waters, looking for a snack. Danger could hide anywhere. This time it's only a little egret, a formidable predator of insects and small vertebrates, but not a threat. It is highly dependent on visual cues when hunting, preferring clear, shallow water, making these an easy meal. These waters are also inhabited by a creature not within the egret's grasp, but it will take a different kind of predator to capture it. In this lagoon, a magnificent predator has made its comeback, and it has a taste for such large meals. The osprey. This couple have settled for the breeding season this year. The presence of the osprey in this area is thanks to the hard work of these people. Since 2006, this team of researchers have started a reintroduction project to create a breeding population in this area. The new generation of ospreys needs to be captured every year. This chick seems reluctant to help the researchers, but it will contribute to understanding the secrets of this species. Researcher Flavio Monti has a special pride for the new generations. Each year he collects the new chicks from the nest in the swamps and here at the Ombrone River estuary.
This is a very important project at national level because the species completely was extirpated as a breeding species in the last 60s, and now thanks to this project, after more than 40 years of extinction, returned to breed in the country, in Italy.
At this stage, chicks weigh even more than the adults do and are almost ready to leave the nest. Flavio equips them with identification rings and GPS collars right before their first flight. This device will allow the scientists to track the migratory route of these birds, which they have found can reach as far as equatorial Africa.
The Maremma Regional Park can have several benefits due to the presence of the species in its territory, and that's due to the fact that the osprey is a charismatic and flagship species that can attract tourists and can have net benefits on the budget of the park. And so many persons come to see these species fishing on the waters of the rivers or the marsh close to the area. And so has got also other important conservation-related effects in the area and also for the economic value of the region.
Due to its striking hunting technique, the osprey has sealable nostrils to keep out water during dives, and a dense, oily plumage that prevents its feathers from becoming waterlogged.
It's really, really important and is really, really needed nowadays to improve the awareness of the citizens about conservation and management of wildlife in an area where the ecotourism and the boom of the demography, human demography, could be a problem in certain cases.
These artificial nests resemble natural ones, famously huge and used for many generations, year after year, as each couple adds more material to the nest. It is time for this chick to come back to its nest.
I fall in love with the species many years ago. Actually, are more than 10 years that I'm working with the species, and I have no boring about that. I still carry on to come here to see day after day these species flying in the Italian landscapes.
Osprey are typically monogamous. A clip from this camera shows how the male, a formidable hunter, brings fish for the female while she incubates the egg. The osprey are the only bird of prey feeding only on fish, like this mullet. Even though this crow might disagree, the return of the osprey represents the latest chapter of the park's story. Despite the pressure of tourism, the wildlife of the woods, fields, and marshes has flourished. The success of Maremma's wildlife is steeped in history and shows no sign of future neglect. Thanks to the passion of the park's researchers, even the king of the swamp has returned, bringing new hope for the beauty and charisma of Italian wildlife.